You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, bunch of trains. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
Just to start kind of with the fourth there, what did you kind of see to kind of let things kind of go where they got so quick?
They just took the fight to us. They were a tougher team, mentally tougher than we were, physically tougher than we were. You know, this is something that we have to get back to the drawing board, and we have to come out and be a tougher team. And tonight, on our home floor, like I told our guys, all of us, we got to take more pride in how we approach the game.
Yeah, one of the numbers that jumps out is they came in 29th in rebounding. I think out rebounded you guys by 19.
Yeah.
What did you really see in that aspect of the game?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of missed shots led to rebounds, and those are rebounds that we talked about. We should be going after offensive rebounds. We should be having second chance opportunities. Again, that comes down to sticking your nose in there, being tougher, having some understanding of what the game plan is, and starting with myself, I got to hold our guys accountable to being better. And this wasn't indicative of who we've been.
What did you kind of see, just the struggles on offense, especially just late in the fourth quarter, where did you see just kind of the way things died on that end?
I thought we fought to kind of hang in there for a little bit, and then a couple bounces didn't go our way. I think we had like a pass that bounced off somebody's foot. They got it, scored. But at the end of it's more about us trusting each other as a team. So that's what the game comes down to. We knew that they were going to be in the paint, forcing kickouts. We got to trust the pass, and then the next best decision.
Just a last-second decision there with UC over Steve Bay in the start lineup. I guess what was kind of the thinking behind that?
Yeah. I mean, just matching up with their bigs, putting Eve in the game, giving us rebounding opportunities.
Hey, Willie, one of the things that Joe talked about when he got his job, how his team would play hard on both ends of the play.
Yeah.
What do you kind of say about that, and then you can see a performance like tonight?
I'm disappointed in how we approach the game. I'm disappointed in just the lack of toughness on the floor more than anything. That's the part that is difficult. It's one thing to not win a game. It's a whole nother thing to get just kind of punked on your home floor. And I'm a part of that. It's not just our guys, it's all of us. And so tomorrow is something we'll talk about, something we'll continue to stress and continue to try to move forward and be better.
I want to ask you about DeAndre's minutes, his first minutes. How do you think he played tonight?
I thought he gave us some solid minutes, physical force down low, some good rebounds, like what I saw from DJ tonight.
And obviously it's not the start. I think Jeremiah Fears wanted for his first NBA start, but what did you say to him after the game?
He's just got to remain encouraged. His third NBA game, he's going to have moments like this, but the guys around him has got to help him. But this can be typical sometimes, especially for your first NBA season.
And when we're talking about that trust, everybody needing to have trust in the past and all that. How much more important is that when you don't have Zion, who's the fulcrum?
It's all we talked about. Is we have to do it together. We cannot come out with a mentality that, one individual is going to carry the team. And that's what we saw tonight. We saw our group step on the floor. Number one, they just were a tougher team than we were. And then two, we saw a team that just collectively didn't come together and try to do it together.
It was a tough night for Trey tonight. It seemed like the Celtics were able to run him off the line successfully, but also kind of put him in positions to be more of a playmaker rather than a shot taker. Just what does he have to do to kind of be more aggressive and maybe perhaps like take more ownership of the offense there, as opposed to just accepting that that team's keying in on him and running him off the line?
Again, it comes down to mentally just having the toughness that you need to understand how you're being guarded. We talked to Trey about just more 0.5. I thought the game before he did a great job of trying to get his teammates more involved. He's got to make quick decisions. And then once you share it and the next guy drives it, normally your man is helping you. That's how you get the open shots. But just quicker decisions, more paint drives, more kickouts, more respace.
Coming into this game, one of the identity of the Boston Celtics is they're going to take a ton of threes.
Yeah.
They got up over 50 tonight. Does it require a level of mental focus to just know that, okay, no matter what you do, like they're just going to keep getting the shots up?
It does. It's a multiple effort game anytime you play against them. It starts with our ability to guard the basketball, keep them in front of us. You have to contest all shots, and then they did a better job than us of offensive rebounding. So they got extra possessions, led to kickouts. We made some plays that, I know we would like to get back. A couple balls bounces their way, and you don't want to give a team like this opportunities to score extra points.
How much of a performance like this for Fears against a team like Boston, good defensive guards and whatnot, how much could it be a learning experience for a young guard in this league, someone especially young like him?
It's a big-time learning experience for Fears. He's going to be better for this. Unfortunately, you don't want to have to go through some of these tough games, but that's just a part of the league. So we'll regroup, we'll get together and continue to make improvements.
It's still very early in the season with 3 games, but does this feel like one of those kind of look in the mirror moments for this team that you kind of go through during the course of a season?
For sure, you have to. Anytime you have a game where a team just physically takes it to you on both ends of the floor, there's no way you can leave that game and not, starting with me. I'm in it with them, looking ourselves in the mirror and figuring out, okay, what can we do better to help ourselves have better opportunities to win the game.
And I guess just how tough is it, this early in the season to be having these conversations about needing to be more physical, having to play with more effort, when you still got such a long way to go?
It happens. You got to address it, hold each other accountable about, what it is. You don't want to have this early, but there's times it happens. It's good to address it now.
What do you think is something that you can do differently to get that message across? Or?
Keep coaching them. Keep having an understanding of what we're doing on the floor. Keep watching film. Keep practicing hard. Keep implementing good habits. All right. Thank you.
All right. For all things Pelicans, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in this one, man. Much love to the faithful. And for all those that have the stomach strong enough to stomach or digest with the BS the Pelicans are kicking out. Boy, I tell you, man, very interesting. Big Q in the building. PPR final, man. Pelicans blown out, spanked by the Celtics 122-90. Of course, we know Zion Williamson, man, was a surprise scratch from the game. Of course, if y'all guys didn't know that Zion was out with a bone contusion. Not much was, they talked about it, and hopefully he'd be back sooner than later. But has been downgraded to questionable. Of course, he didn't play in the game. And we'll see if it takes a few weeks to heal or whatever the case may be. But the Pelicans, without Zion Williamson, they should have been able to do something. They lost the game. And they really got hammered in the fourth. That's where they scored 12 points in the fourth quarter and just got knocked the hell out of there by a winless Celtics team that beat the Pelicans. They're 0-3, 0-2 at home. And Willie Green stands before you and say they got to, they got to stick their nose and all this kind of stuff. Willie, don't say nothing about nobody. Don't say nose. Don't say nose, Willie. Just stay away from that word. Big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Y'all hit the like button. Big ups to you. Big B Tech Blitz, Young City 9. Much love to you guys. Jay Carve, I see you, my brother. Bishop, one love. Ross the Boss, Corey. What's up? YBNG Don. What's up, brother? The Mall's in the building. Bird Talks. Big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate you. What's up, Stacy? Knox Villain is also in this thing as well, man. Much love. Appreciate all y'all for being here. Yes, yeah. That's right. That's right, Stacy. Willie Green, man, I'm telling you, we having problems with these sports teams down here in Louisiana, man. We having some problems, man. We just fired the coach from LSU. He got up out of here. Estimated $20 million buyout. Willie Green's 0-3. And we talked about this. This is not much of a surprise for the family members. What's up, Jaden? What's up, man? What's going on, Mr. Bird? Shout out to you, brother. Good to see y'all. It's one of these situations, fam, where, what can I tell y'all, man? We knew coming into the season, we talked about it ad nauseam here on PPR. We talked about the issue that is Willie Green. We knew that Willie Green is a problem. We know that he called his team. He said that they played soft. It wasn't tough. This is the same type of stuff that got him pissed off with him last year. And Willie, listen, bro, the team is a reflection of the coach, head coach, brains. Supposed to be brain. That's guiding the coach. The guy that's supposed to be telling them what to do, putting the philosophy on how to play tough defense. If they're soft or not tough, it's because you are soft and not tough. They are a direct, not indirect, but a literal direct reflection of the head coach. And that is the problem. The Pelicans, without Zion Williamson, and for me, Simons lit the Pelicans up in this one, man. He had 6 3-pointers and scored 25 points on it. He was just getting his shots off. These people hit 18 3-pointers on the Pelicans today and got up 53 shots. How you let people get three? Them people got a 53. I'm going to hit y'all with the stats momentarily, but it's ridiculous. If there are any other post news, I know they probably get Jay Poo, who led the team with 22 points. It just wasn't enough. Trey was awful in this game as well. He didn't do what he was supposed to do, and the Pelicans just didn't look. They kept it nip and tuck up to a point, and then the Celtics say, you know what, I forgot y'all the Pelicans. Let me go on smash mode. And that's what they did, destroying them in the fourth, 35 to 12 points. How you let a professional team snuff you out and only allow you to score 12 points in the final quarter of the game. Tough stuff, man. Tough stuff to be a Pels guy. All right, man. Yeah, it's what it is. What's up, Tasha? Shout out to Tasha. Good to see you in the building as well. Much love. I just don't know what to say except for what I've been saying. This is not a surprise. And listen, fam, we have to go through this. I know it's not good, but listen, at 0-3, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I can't say that about the Saints, but I can say that about the Pelicans. There's a light at the tunnel. We know that Joe Dumars could not fire Willie Green. He couldn't do it because Gail Benson told him not to fire Willie Green. Gail protected Willie, and that's why Willie is still your coach. There was change everywhere. The players, coaches, administrators, it was change everywhere. He did not have the power to get rid of Willie Green. But these games will show him, and Willie Green will build up enough of a resume to get him on up out of here. They're 0-3 right now, and he's sitting up in 3 games calling them soft. Boy, I tell you, that guy got the nerve to call somebody soft, man, and tell somebody they got to stick their nose into it. Oh, Willie, what we're gonna do with you, Willie? But put you in unemployment line sooner or later. Anyway, let's hit the stats, man. Y'all put it in the comment section what y'all think happened today. Shout out to y'all if y'all listening via X. Give me a retweet on X and anywhere else. Hit the like button. If you're not a sub up. Here we go. The stat read 28 of 84 by the Pelicans, 33.3% tonight from the field. Disastrous. The Boston Celtics were 46 of 95 for over 48% on the Pelicans. They shot 53 attempts from downtown, hit 18 of them. The Pelicans shot 36 and hit 9 for 25%. Pelicans did get to the foul line 28 times, converted 25 of 28 for 89.9%. That is very positive. Very positive. But the three-pointers, my goodness, double the threes, you know. And, of course, the rebound game. Look at the rebounds, man. They just out-hustled the Pelicans, 54-35, right? And they almost had another. The previous team had, almost 60 rebounds on the Pelicans? Crazy stats. 25-17, which obviously shows the Pelicans was, you know, in the game as well. They weren't circulating the ball like they were supposed to. And shots wasn't following for going down for the Pelicans. 7-5 the steals going the Pelicans' way, and of course the blocks 7-0. No blocks for the Pelicans. Turnovers 14 with 19 points given up versus the Celtics 12 giving up 10. Fast break points favored the Celts, so did the points in the paint. So they, 32 points, and the Pelicans had it at one time by one, but this is ridiculous. Even though Zion's not there, you should have enough firepower to compete with the Celtics if you're on game. But look how your Pelicans did tonight, fam. Top scorer was Jordan Poole. Ain't no pool party yet. 22 points off for 34 minutes, 5 of 14 from the field. He was 3 of 8 from downtown, 9 of 9 from the foul line. He had 4 assists and a steal. And then, of course, the next scorer with double digits in the starting lineup was Herb Jones. 23 minutes, 11 points. For Herb, 2 rebounds, minus 29 in the plus-minus situation. The Herb did hit 2 3-pointers, a very ineffective 11 points when you have one of your other 20-point scorers missing. Trey has to put his 20 on the board, and you need some help. Eves coming back. He played only 19 minutes, finished with 11.7 rebounds, 3 assists. In the matchup, Trey Murphy, 34 minutes. He had 7 points. He was the 3 of 11 from the field. He was 0 for 4 from downtown and 1 of 2 from the foul line. He finished with 7 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. That can't happen. You can't. When you're missing Zion, a 20-point scorer, Trey has to give a little bit more. So does Jordan, who had his 20 points, and then the team has to step up with the rest. Jeremiah Fierce, 27 minutes, had an off game, 2 points, 1 of 11 from the field, 0 4 from downtown, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. It just wasn't working. Derek Queen off the bench, 12 points in 22 minutes, 3 of 7 from the field. He was perfect from the foul line, 6 of 6 with 3 rebounds and a steal. 11 from Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey came in 24 minutes, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 7 from downtown, 11 points, 2 steals, and 2 rebounds for Sadiq Bey. We seen DeAndre Jordan in his first stat, 11 minutes. He had 7 points and 5 boards for DeAndre Jordan in his first game as a Pelican, right? And then, of course, not too much else to talk about. We did see Jose Alvarado for 22 minutes, 5 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Not much to talk about anywhere else, man. Jordan Hawkins did get 15 minutes. He was 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2, no points for Jayhawk in the matchup. And, man, what can I tell y'all, man? The Pelicans just was creaky and unsure, and it just wasn't what it was hitting for, fam. It wasn't. Jaden Brown, he wasn't all that in the game. He kept it together, but they played more consistent together. They would do some stuff positive, and they did just enough to get the game. And then when the game got close in the fourth, or when the fourth quarter started, the Celtics just put the pedal to the metal and burned down on the Pelicans. 25 from Anthony Simon in 32 minutes. He had 6 3-pointers to close out with their first win of the season. They're now 1-3. The Pelicans go to 0-3, 0-2. Up next is the Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are up. They're 1-1. They'll be seeing the Pelicans on October the 29th. So the Pelicans go to the high altitude of Denver to compete with the Nuggets. So this will be interesting. They're saying that you can see an estimated return date they believe will be October the 29th. For Zion Williamson will be back. They say for the Nuggets, we'll see Kevon Looney early next month. He shall return, and not until 2026. We'll see DeJounte Murray. But this is what we're dealing with right now with the Pels. The Pelicans fall out of it yet again, and this is, I guess, is what you would consider a necessary evil if you're the New Orleans Pelicans. You know, at some point we have to be able to show Joe Dumars that Willie Green. Well, we know Willie Green is not a very good coach, but the losses have to mount up, and not only that, how they're losing, it's got to piss off a basketball person, because you may think you can watch a team from afar and you really had no vested interest to watching from afar like you had when Joe Dumars was not, hired by the team. But then when you watch him, because you're vested, you're getting paid by the team to ensure that they win, and you actually watch him coach the game, and you know the game, you know that the man is not a head coach. He shouldn't be a head coach. He shouldn't be a head coach. So anyway, big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. Y'all put y'all thoughts in there, man. And like I said, this is going to carry on. And like I said, we got Denver up next, and there are quite a few games that could happen for the Pelicans. And as you kind of search out and look at their schedule, and we talked about this on PPR all the time, when the best opponent that I thought that they had an opportunity to win against was Memphis. Memphis was missing damn near their whole reserve team, and Ja Morant had an ankle issue, and the Pelicans still lost that game by 6. They had the overtime matchup with San Antonio, couldn't get that one. They get blown out by Boston at home. They hit the road for Denver and the Clippers and OKC. So they hit the road October the 29th, then October the 31st, and then November the 2nd. From that span of time, they have 3 road games against 3 difficult opponents: Denver, Clippers, OKC. They come back home against Charlotte. That's November the 4th. And right next after that game, back-to-back game, they have the Charlotte game, and then they go to Dallas, to take on the Mavericks and they star guard out there. So, and then San Antonio again. So this is going to be interesting. The first 10 games. How are the Pelicans going to do? When is the first win going to happen? I want to say Charlotte is the first win you have, but you'll possibly be 0-6 entering the Charlotte's game, and you get 1 win, but you getting a hole early like this, and I know it's a lot of games. It's still 79 games remaining in the regular season. But how much of a leash does the Pelicans, or Joe Dumars rather, gives Willie Green to lose? He's not going to allow Willie Green to jeopardize the season. At some point, you got to go in there and tell Willie he got to change. You got to turn it around. You got to turn it around. But the losses will not save Willie Green from being fired. And like I said, we anticipate that will be happening anywhere between 10 to 15 games. If you're in a hole and people say it's just this early on, fam, listen, this is not a regular situation. This guy, he's not, and I don't want to disparage Willie. Willie's a good guy, but he's a terrible head coach. He's not made to be for you to get in the hole with Willie Green, because that requires coaching and strategy, and he's not good at that. He's not a good motivator. He's not a good strategist. He can't coach himself out of a wet paper bag. He's an extremely weak coach in those things, and he got it because we had an idiot that hired him for the job. So, I mean, he's not qualified, fam. The man been here for, 5 years now, or whatever the hell it is. And it's just more of the same. But like I said, I anticipated this happening, and I would say anywhere between 10 to 15 games, he in trouble. Him and Brian Kelly be having coffee together on the unemployment line, except Brian Kelly could get the rich coffee. All right, but anyway, shout out to you. Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, that's right, Stacy. What's up, Mary Kay? Big ups to you guys for being in the stream. Yeah, I hear you, Mary. I hope I'm saying your name right. Mamari 305 says it's coming soon. Yeah, I estimated. Brother Jan, what's up, bro? Don, what's up, man? Oh yeah, 5. I know 5 years is enough, but what I'm saying is, I'm saying anywhere between 10 to 15 games. Joe Dumars is not going to allow this shit to happen. He's not going to allow them to keep losing. And fam, you can put the tape on and see what's going on. They're not coached to play entire games. It happened, and it's been happening over the last couple of years, right? The clutch time stats really matter. They are very glaring. Clutch time stats when the games are 5 points or less, or 10 points or less. You know, when it's 5 points or less, expect a loss because the man can't scheme up anything. You know, Willie Green, no disrespect to Willie Green, but it's here. He's not made for this, man. And he's only here because Gail Benson doesn't know what the hell she's doing. But Joe Dumars is going to say, can't touch you yet. But I know exactly, if you don't turn it around, I know just when I'm going to get rid of you. But I'm not going to jeopardize my whole season coming up in here and allowing you to screw this team around. We're going to get you out of here if you don't get the games going. I see anywhere between. I don't see the Pelicans 0-10. I see a Charlotte winning there, but that's not even guaranteed, to be honest with you. Stacey, what's up, C-Step? I mean, I can't even say the Charlotte game's a win. Seriously, can y'all really guarantee me? Say, Q, I guarantee you that. Can you guarantee me that Charlotte is going to be a win for the Pelicans? Because I can't. I'm looking ahead, but I'm trying to figure out, man, where can we get a win here? You know, when can we? Charlotte at home, then you got Dallas and San Antonio. And you couldn't beat San Antonio here. You think you're gonna deal with them there? You got Phoenix after that. Portland, you might have something with Portland because they have all the stuff going on with them. I'm not certain. And perhaps the Lakers. But then Golden State, OKC, and Denver after that. They got a brutal start. So like I said, we watched the schedule and I said, man, 10 to 15 games, this guy he'll be done. He'll be up out of here, man. It's about damn time, man. It's on what Pac says, only so long fake thugs can pretend. It's only so long fake coaches can pretend. All right, paraphrasing, shout out to Pac. All right, so anyway, let me hear from you guys, man. What y'all think about it? Stephanie, what's up, Steph? Steph says, what happened to the ball movement? Yeah, I know. It's 17 assists definitely aims that in your direction. Willie talked about he wants 20 assists a game. He had 17 in the game, or 20 or more, whatever it was. But it's one of these situations where you look at with this team and you say, okay, they have a lot of bright spots. They're just not well coached. They're not well coached. And Trey's struggling. We lose Zion, kind of surprisingly. They reported, that he had a bone contusion. They saying it's not much. But anytime you start talking about contusions and injuries with Zion, people get a little leery. But the Boston Celtics were without one of their top guns. Mr. Tatum's on the IR. That should give you a shot. Trey Murphy, Jordan Poole, 220-plus scorers, Herb Jones defensive. And surely our bench can muster up enough points to be able to play with the Celtics, right? And it's no surprise. So anyway, all right. Anyway, Jacob says Charlotte 2-1 with the best offense. They'll blow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Charlotte's not a given. I mean, we're looking at Charlotte like from last year. They're well coached. The guy that's over there, Coach Lee, is have these guys playing. They'll press the Pelicans. And if the Pelicans are not defensively up to their game, they'll just a team that's scoring a lot of points like them, or OKC that's so disciplined, they'll just force the fumbling, bumbling, unintelligent, disrespectful ball handling Pelicans into issues and capitalize off of them. And that's what it is. They don't respect the basketball. I mean, they talk a good game. They talk a good game. But when it comes down to stepping up the clutch times and giving full-out efforts, I ain't talking about 3 quarters. 3 quarters is not going to cut it. You need to play full 4 quarters like what we seen tonight. You bring it for 4, you get a chance to win. And we're not coached well enough. And I'll say it again. This team still doesn't have an identity. What is the identity of the New Orleans Pelicans 2025-26 team? Can somebody tell me that? Flock, tell me what is the identity, the successful identity of your New Orleans Pelicans 2025-2026 team? Can anybody give me that game? Right? Can anybody tell me that much? Hi, Brother Jan says, tell me this, Q. Why Trey Murphy play like he's 5'10", 190, and he think he can be a number 1 option?
Say thank you. Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, Trey Murphy, man, that was bad for him to have that type of game. And listen, he struggled. His game has not totally been there these last 3 weeks, has it, fam? Trey Murphy, you know, coming into it, he hasn't. Yeah, he's just Trey has not been Trey, right? You know, his shot is not falling, and tonight we didn't need him not to be, you know, a 20-point scorer. He's averaging 18 and a half right now through these 3 games, but 7 points in 30-something minutes, that's not going to cut it. You know, you can't get the bag, and they give you the bag, and then you go out there and give a 7.5 rebound, 5 assists, minus 15 on the plus-minus side. That's not going to cut it. If Zion's missing that production, those numbers have to be made up some way. You're going to have to score a little bit more. Jordan, our 20-point scorers, they're going to have to lean on you, and the rest of the team is going to have to help out. And, you know, we didn't see that with Trey, and Trey has kind of been, you know, he's been struggling outside of the San Antonio game, which that had overtime to it. It was an element of overtime to it. He put up 24 in that game. But the Memphis game, he played 32 minutes and had 13 points. And he shot like 17% from downtown in that game. This is our sharpshooter. He was 27% tonight against Boston. Trey, I ain't gonna say he in the slump, but he ain't looking good. 7 in the first game, 24 in the second, and 13 tonight. That ain't gonna cut it. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate the super chat, my brother. Much love. Yeah, this is insane, man. This is insane. I don't get that. Yeah, yeah. Uptown says, it says, I can't believe in Game 3 Zion is already sitting out some bone contusion, bro, that they talked about. Something about, now they did have it. I just seen it on the injury report. They estimate he'll be back for the Nuggets game. But we'll see. Could just been a precautionary move. Because at first he might have been able to play, according to what I'm getting, that he was a game time decision. That's why it was sudden. Because they just made the decision, hey, let's just sit him out tonight. We should be able to take care of the Celtics. They're without Tatum. They got Brown. We should be able to do something. No, sir. All right, Don says, why? He said, why you not tired of Herb and Trey? They're terrible so far. It's because I know Herb is coming off injury. Actually, both of them are coming off injuries. Both of them had injuries. I know Herb's still trying to round his game out. Herb is almost trying to act like he was 2 years ago Herb. You know, the guy that was hitting a high clip on the 3-pointers, that ain't him. He got to adjust his game and do that. And a lot of people, including myself, thought Herb should have came off the bench, and Sadiq Bey should have got action there. You know, how would that have looked with Sadiq Bey there and then Herb off the bench? So, yeah, he hadn't looked good either, Don. So, yeah, you're right. But I'm thinking, like, with these two guys kind of working themselves back into it. But, early, they have not looked well, bro. They have not. You're absolutely right. All right. Sean says Zion is holding y'all back. I ain't so much as Zion, bro. Before I even get to Zion, bro, I got to look at the coach, bro. The coach is not. Before I even get to Zion, bro, because I know, bro, if I had a good coach, I know a good coach who know how to scheme and put some stuff together. I know he can do something with Trey and Herb and Sadiq and Jay Fairs and Queen and all these players we got. We got some real good players here. I know that we just don't have the coach that's utilizing their talents. I just know that. All right. Don says, people told me Trey is the face. I like Trey, but that's on Willie as well. But they told that wasn't so much Willie. Willie don't know nothing. That was Joe Dumas told Zion he the face of the team, not Trey. Trey is a compliment to Zion. And that's the idea that Joe Dumas, who runs the team, has installed Zion. Everything's built around Zion. It's built around him. And when Zion's not there, other guys have to still be able to play and do what they need to do to help the Pelicans win when he's not there. Don't we have enough depth so we can be able to win games when guys are hurt? Hell, the Celtics, they won a game without this. They one of their best players on out. That's something we have to do. All right, Consume Conman 3 says AD can get this team right. Yeah, Antonio Daniels, man, is passionate. He's very good at coaching the game, but I don't know if AD ever was an assistant coach. Y'all correct me in the chat. But he would do well, and I don't know if he wants to do that because he's very a family guy. You know, I don't know if he wants to, you know, do that to his family. Got a young family, so to speak, and I don't know if you. But I would definitely take AD off that commentator stand and making him assistant coach. I think Antonio Daniels would do a better job than the guy that looked like Fu Manchu. What's his name? Brewer. What's his name? The Fu Manchu dude. You know, was Brewer? Brewer is his name. Brewer. I think he can do a better job than him or Raymond. Not Raymond. What's the brother name from Miles? Aaron Miles, or Collins. You know, and his game is he speaks the game. He knows the game. He's still, I ain't gonna say young enough, but he has a young spirit where he can teach the game. I think Antonio Daniels, I would take him off that commentator stand and make him my assistant coach if he wanted to do that. I would definitely do that. I think he can be one of those type of former basketball players that can make the jump to being an assistant coach and ultimately get the experience needed to become a head coach. If that's his path. I don't think that's his path, though. Thank you, bro, for that comment. That was, I thought about that myself, man. I was like, man, it'd be cool if we ate because when he talking and breaking the game down, he makes it digestible for a novice who's watching the game, don't know what he's talking about. People understand him. That's a gift to be able to take principles that most players understand and break them down and make them digestible for novice. That he has a gift. Most people have the gift for that. And AD, I think I would make him an assistant coach, like put him on there and let him, you know, and ultimately let him get his experience that way. But that's not a bad idea, man. Not at all. All right, thank you, man. D-Nola60 says Willie Green needs to be fired. He doesn't understand chemistry with players. He doesn't understand rotations. Bro, amen to you, brother.
Thank you very much. Picking me up. Taking me back to this world. Talk, boy.
The bottom line is, man, D-Nola60, thank you for the super chat, brother. You're right. We talked about on the previous stream, and we basically called it that Willie Green doesn't have a basketball soul. And he's like, what that mean? Basketball soul. He doesn't have the soul necessary to comprehend the complex rhythm of basketball. Like, understanding the ebbs and flows of the game and knowing when to make a move and when not to make a move. Having a feel for the game. You got to have a soul to be. That's like having soulful music, having a direct connection to natural drums. Not this computer nonsense, but I'm talking about natural drums and rhythms and all this kind of stuff. Things look different when you get rid of all of the computer, the synthetic or the fake music, the synthesized music, the fake music, synthetic music. And you get back to the real drums and all this kind of stuff. That stuff hits you in the chest. It hits you in the soul. Willie Green doesn't have a basketball soul. He can't understand the rhythms and the patterns necessary as a head coach. Maybe as a basketball player, he has some idea, or just maybe somebody told him do this or do that, and he understands the principles, but he most certainly do not understand the rhythm of the game. He really doesn't. He has no comprehension of that, and we've seen that on late rotations and calls, bringing out players that are getting hot, sitting players that are getting hot and scoring and taking them out and sitting them on the bench and putting somebody else in there. Who does that but a guy that doesn't know what he's doing? He doesn't have an understanding. He doesn't have a basketball soul. That's what I calls it. That's what the hell I call it. All right, thank you for that, fam. All right, Consume says, we down bad, Q, as long as Willie teaching the troops, they not battle ready. And like I said, fam, y'all remember this. And we talked about this on this very show for I don't know how long about Willie Green, that this has to happen. This has to happen, family. Listen, this has to happen. We got to go through this. Why, Q? Because it has to be shown to Joe Dumars so he'll have enough body of work to justify firing Willie Green. He has to have a reason to fire Willie Green. Remember, Gail stopped the Gale gave him the job saying that, and then Joe said, no, that's not the case and all this kind of stuff. And I expect them to say that, but ain't nobody going to tell me you going to come in here. Joe ain't that foolish. Well, he going to come into the Pelicans organization and talk about winning. The first thing you're going to look at is the coach. The coach lost the team last year. He lost the team. He called him soft. He lost the team last year. And, the former general manager was trying to fire him, and the owner said, no, I like Willie Green. You're fired. So if Joe, has to move, he got to play the game. He don't have enough power to overrule the owner. But only way he gets Willie out of here is Willie got to lose enough games to justify him being fired. And this is what this says. That's why we're 0-3. Now we should have. You definitely should have won tonight. You should have won. You should be 3-0. To be honest with you, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But you should have been 3-0. To be honest with you, you should have You should have hammered Memphis to hell. You should have beat San Antonio in regulation. Free throw would have did it for you. Some defense on a 3-point shooter would have done it for you. A competent coach would have made sure you handled that. Right? When you complain about Zion getting the fouls, but getting to the foul line and not converting. Now, he did a decent job that game of hitting a high clip of them, but the clutch ones, you got to get those, man. We got to get you up to 79%, 80, somewhere in there. We can't have you that, your game is around the basket. You can't, how you got a player that's a power game, but when you get to the foul line, what is Zion's career free throw shooting? Where is that at, in the mid-70s? If I'm lucky, I'm thinking it's mid-70s. I have to look it up right quick. But the bottom line is, this has to happen for many reasons. It's simply what it is. It has to happen. We have to lose these games to justify firing Willie Green because of the owner. And it will happen too. It will happen. They're not going to let this season go into the ground. When they made these draft picks Queen and Fierce, people that they want to help them win in moves of Poole and Kayvon Looney and Sadiq Bey, not for you to miss the playoffs because a dumb big nose coach don't know what the hell he doing. No. So, yeah, he doesn't have it, fam. He doesn't have it. We know that. You know that. I know that. But it has to be shown, and that's why we're going through this. Joe Dumars has to build up enough of a docket to be able to say, here you go right here, to her to justify firing him. That's what it is. What's up, Carlton? Shout out to Carlton. All right, yeah. Tech Bliss says, well, at least the Pels don't sack him like Denver unfairly did. Indeed, man, what they did. Yeah, I don't know why would you get rid of Malone, a guy that, a couple years ago won your championship? That's just ownership. Same thing happened with Sacramento, but he has a reputation of kind of getting into it with the ownership. I don't think that happens here. Now, you don't have more of an agreeable owner than Gail Benson. She doesn't care about getting any credit for nothing. All she care about is getting the money, baby. That's what she care about. So there would be none of that with Malone that he had with Sacramento or what he had with Denver. There'll be none of that. Plus the connections Stacey astutely mentioned with the Pelicans and Malone through his father and Joe Dumars being with the Pistons. You just can't make this stuff up. Jacob said a year ago, listen to what he says when Willie does dumb shit. He's been trying to tell us Willie can't coach. Indeed, bro. Sean says Zion's good, but as long as he's the best player on your team, you're not winning anything. That's not true, bro. That's not true. That's not true because I can't even get there, bro, until I get through the coach. If you got the right coach, you mean to tell? Let me put it to you like this, Sean. If I had Greg Popovich, now let me speak to you in the Spur language that you understand. If I had Greg Popovich as the coach right now, not old man Greg with a foot in the grave and one on the banana peel. I'm talking about Popovich of 10 years ago. Still spry, fussing at the people, talking shit to the media people, that guy, right? 10 years ago, Popovich. You don't think Popovich gets Zion to that next level? Would he? Yes, he would. Hell yeah, he would. Because it's all about the coach. It's all about coaching, man. The coach get the most out of these guys. I know Pop will put Zion in a position where he would succeed. And he would do the same thing with all these players. Everybody will have a proper system in the place, and they will listen to him because coaching matters, bro. So that's why I'm saying I can't even talk. I'm not talking about Zion until I get there. A coach will make sure Zion is good. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. The problem is we don't have a respectable coach that even gave them a decent system. Tell me the identity of the Pelicans. I still ain't heard nothing. I still hadn't heard nothing. Y'all ain't tell me nothing yet. What's the identity of the Pelicans? Realistically speaking, what is their identity? And I no sarcasm, please. I'm asking for real. No sarcasm. What is the identity of the Pelicans for real? What do they do? What do they do? What is their offense and defensive philosophy? What do they do? Yes, Slim, he is watching. Yes, you're right. YBNG side secure. The Pelicans haven't won a game since yes. Summerly, I know, bro. I know. It's just ridiculous the type of stuff we got to deal with down here, man. Shitty college play. Tulane doing all right. They're the lone bright spot. Steph asks, so how many games do you think he'll have to? I'm saying it's going to be between 10 to 15 games. I'm talking about played, Steph. I'm talking about 10 to 15 games into the season. Yeah, before you have to evaluate, right? And I'm not even saying a quarter of the season, right? Like maybe so. I guess 10 to 15 games will represent a quarter of the season, right? But 10 to 15 games. What is the Pelicans' record within the next 10 to 15 games? They have some real tough teams on the schedule over the next 10 games. I ain't bullshitting. They got some tough games on the season that Willie Green is going to have to get these guys ready for. There's some tough games the next 10 games. Denver, LA, OKC on the road. That's our next 3. Come back home against Charlotte. No guarantee there. They hit the road for 3 straight, Dallas, San Antonio, and Phoenix. They come home for Portland, who have for whatever reason, have a way of beating us. You might get a win against Phoenix. The Lakers are not looking like the Lakers. They're at home. Then you have Golden State, OKC, Denver, and Dallas, Atlanta, and Atlanta, Chicago, Memphis again, Golden State, LA Lakers, and then Minnesota, and Brooklyn. I mean, they got a nice tough schedule lined up, and maybe you get a win against Phoenix. You got to go to San Antonio to beat Wemby. You got the Lakers. Maybe you can get a win over them. Perhaps Portland. Portland has been beating us lately. You got Golden State in middle of November. You got OKC again with Denver again, Dallas, and Atlanta. So they have. I could see the Pelicans getting to a point where they'll be single wins and double-digit losses. Because like I said, Willie Green doesn't have a philosophy. That's the problem. He doesn't have a philosophy. He calling them soft right now. Y'all hear the interview? We played soft. Then he said, I guess that's on me. No, ain't no guess about it. Dummy. The team is a reflection of you. Whatever they are on the court, if they're dumb and inconsistent, they haphazard with the ball, they don't respect the basketball. You see those passes they make, they just be throwing the ball away. Unforced errors, that's a sign of low basketball intelligence. You're taught to respect the ball, respect the game, and the game respects you. The Pelicans don't respect that. They're not taught that way. They're not a disciplined team. They don't get back on time. They don't communicate well. You see, they be on the floor, be unbalanced on one side. They be doubling this guy on this side. They get pressed. All you have to do is press the Pelicans. When you bring down the ball, just press them. They'll let you walk the ball right up to the rim. It's a layup line. Guys getting off. Them people took 50 plus 3-point attempts on the Pelicans tonight. And how many of them did you see didn't get a hand up in their face? They had 50-plus attempts shooting a three-pointer, the Boston Celtics did tonight. And basically shot more. The Pelicans had 9, and Boston had 18 three-pointers. They doubled the threes. No matter, they blew them out tonight. So, like I said, they don't do nothing, but they don't do enough well offensively and damn no on defense. And I thought Willie Green was a defensive guy. So, I mean, he hasn't changed and he hasn't fixed nothing a part of his game. We're just going to go in there and do that. And then if you ask him what's wrong and how you're going to fix it, do you hear his responses? His responses are generic. They have no soul. They're not going to work because he don't know how to implement them. He got a staff that's just as half dead as he. And I thought that the Pelicans needed more turnover on Willie Green's staff. They had added the coach, the former Syracuse coach that they had there. They added him to the staff, but the staff, I really, I'm not really impressed with the Pelican staff. I'm really not. Mary, no adjustments. In the fourth quarter, Willie Green standing up there with his nose sticking out and his arms folded. I just tired of him. So tired of it, man. But we have to endure. We have to endure over the next 15 games, fam. They saying Zion should come back for the game on Wednesday against Denver. Remember, this is going to be, as we preview the Denver game, this is not going to be an easy game against Denver because, number one, you going up to Denver, and it's usually you're going up to that altitude. And that prevents a problem as well. Going up there in the high altitude and playing them, that's problematic. And currently they playing the Timberwolves, and they beating the Timberwolves 102-94. Currently they beating them in Minnesota. So we'll see how they look after that game's over with. But when they're tough, them people tough up there in Minnesota when you play up there. So I just we'll see how it goes, man. And they do have all their guys are healthy. I mean, Murray's healthy, Christian Braun's there. You got Aaron Gordon there, Cameron Johnson, the former Brooklyn Net, he's there. The former Sun, he's there. You got the Joker is healthy. He should be there. Bruce Brown, remember him with the Pelicans? He's there. Tim Hardaway Jr. is there. Jonas is there. Big Jonas, y'all remember him? He's there. So it's gonna, and Julian Strother is also there. I know Julian Strother loves playing the Pelicans. He kills the Pelicans every time he plays them. He lights the Pelicans up. I don't know what's up with Strother, but he always seems to light him up. But Cam Johnson is gonna, so it's gonna be an interesting dynamic to go against them. They're gonna have to. Maybe Zion has one of those games where he takes over the game and nobody can stop him, and it'll be whoever. If it's a win, it's got to be a Herculean effort by one of if Zion just gets possessed and decides to want to take the game over and put 40 up, and then Trey's not struggling, and Jordan adds 20, Trey adds 20, and Zion puts up 40 points, you'll win the game. That the players have to over excel. You see what I'm saying? And get pissed off and play that game, and with talent overdo the team, but you will not outcoach your adversary. You'll just out-talent them. So when our players come to play and we're in rhythm, we win games because we're talented. But when it come down to coaching, when it gets close, you're not going to get it, man. That's what those stats indicate when you're 0-23 or 24 in close games. That's coaching. We've seen that over and over again. Yeah, Joker. Yeah, that's right, Stacey. He always averages that, bro. Yeah. So what does it look like? Y'all tell me, man, as we get ready to kind of skirt out of here. Y'all tell me in the chat, is it a win or a loss? Put a W or a L. How about it, Mary? That's it for Slim, Stacy. K-Soon Con Man 3. What y'all think? Put it in the chat. Tech Blitz. What about you, fam? All right, Steph, what you think? All right, y'all put in the chat. YBNG and Don, what's up? Young Bloods, what's up, fam? Yeah, Young Blood says, Q, if this keeps up, I think Dumas will pull the plug on Willie before Thanksgiving. And what a present that would be, right? Wouldn't that be a present? That would be an absolute lovely present to present to the Pels Nation. If Willie Green is fired at Thanksgiving, that would be And I really don't really take light in the fact that somebody getting fired. But, if the man, if he's getting in the way of progress. Let's just get that straight. He's getting in the way of progress, fam. And you can't get in the way of progress. And unfortunately, that simply is what it is. When you get in the way of progress, you get steamrolling. Willie Green, man, he's in the way. So, we'll see. Let's see what the fam say, man. Y'all, yeah, it's just simply what it is at this point. All right, let's get this in. Some of the family members say, okay, Slim says L, it's nothing but L's. Look at the flock, man. Jarvis, what's up, fam? It's a L. Look at all the L's. My goodness. Barry, what's up, Barry? It's all L's. The chat's got all L's right there. Why? Because unfortunately, L, yes. And Stacy says, remember that I said Black Friday last year? Yeah, it's a bunch of L. Fam, I agree. It's unfortunate. But we know. We know. And it simply is what it is. Am I sad about that? Absolutely not. We still here, and it's still an early season. We know for there to be a bright future, we got to shave away the things that are hurting us. Like when y'all heard it before, or y'all experienced it in life, where when it's time for you to take a big step in your life to go up to the next level, you can't bring all the people that you was cool with you. You got us, you see what I'm saying? And when they start, some of them, if their spirit ain't right and you start making the steps, they're going to want to get a little crabby. What I mean is they're going to get a negative energy, and they're going to try to, some bad spirits might try to use them to kind of stop you from making your jump to greatness. So you as a person have to realize that you're not really losing anything if you decide to distance yourself from things that are not beneficial for you, or people that's not beneficial for you, so that you can get higher result. And in the end, the reality and the great way of how it's designed is when you distance yourself and you make your ascension, you usually find people on that next level that you are equally yoked with. That is the big point here. You're not meant to be hanging around the same people your life. If you're ascending, eventually you're going to have to disassociate with people that are not ascending with you. That's how the path of life is, because God might have another path for you that you need to travel. You can't have all these people with you. So he'll put you through a little test period. He's going to start making them cut up, and you start showing who's really who, and you're going to have to make some decisions. And when you move on, you'll realize you make that step and you get higher. Then you'll realize that then you'll be up there and you'll meet other people on that level where you're supposed to be that are equally yoked with you. You see what I'm saying? That's the same thing with the Pelicans. We know that eventually we got a coach that's going to make us go to that or take us to that next level. Before all of us to get there, we got to go through this stuff, this test period with this guy. We know he's a bum. We know he's a bad coach. He's not an assistant coach. We know he's a fraud as a coach. We know the guy's not a head coach. He's an assistant coach. His time is up. He knows it. That's why he got those circles under his eyes, because he has been exposed. He can't do anything that we haven't seen before. Nothing. I'm disappointed. Then the next game when they get blown out by 15, they play better. You see them? So in the end, man, all I'm saying is it's time for him to keep accumulating losses, to build up a docket, to present to the judge and say, here it is right here, Your Honor. This is proof positive that this guy is not the coach and we need to get rid of him. Here it is. And she got to say, do what you got to do. That's how it is. All right, Tech Blitz, my prediction is Gordon will cook us on threes. He's due for a good three-point game. Either him or Strawther. They got a good team. Jamal Murray is healthy. And the Pelicans, they'll have to step up. Zion's supposed to be back. We'll see. But the reality is we have Jordan Love. Jordan Poole. I'm sorry, Jordan Poole. Jordan Love. I wish we had Jordan Love at the quarterback for the Saints, but Jordan Poole. We have Jordan Poole here and Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy got to get out the toilet, man. And he got to start hitting some shots, man. We need Trigger Trey Murphy, not whoever this guy is. Here we need Herb to step up. We need our bench to galvanize and score points to help balance the flow for the starters. We can't put all the pressure on the starters to score. The bench has to help out too. And they got to elevate the defense. There's a lot to talk about here. But in the end, we shall maintain and see. All right, so anyway, fam, with that being said, all right, well, listen, we're going to get out of here, man. We'll be back for on October the 29th. We'll have the live scoreboard up. Had some technical issues I'm still working out, man. I haven't get the live scoreboard up, but we'll do it the next time. And also we'll have PPR final. The recap will be back to see the Pelicans match up against the Nuggets in Denver. And can they get that first win of the season, man? The flock says no, but let's see if they – and by the way, the matchup predictor has Denver 81%, the Pelicans 19%. That's crazy work right there. Anyway, they know something like you know. So anyway, listen, man. I'm going to cut out with that, man. I appreciate y'all, man. If y'all feeling it, please do me a service on X. Hit the retweet button. Retweet the show. PPR keeping it real all the way there, baby. And even though our sports teams, whether it's the Saints or the Pelicans or the Tigers, don't show up to play and they're inconsistent, we are not inconsistent. We are literally the example on how these people are supposed to be. It don't matter if they shitty or they good or they in between. We show up every time. It don't matter win, lose, or draw. It got to be something said for that. You know, to sit up here and watch horror and filth and bad football or basketball or whatever else. But fam, we are what they supposed to be. We are consistent, and I take pride in that. Win, lose, or draw, or anywhere in between. We here. All right, so anyway, with that being said, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, fam. I appreciate y'all so much. And I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love. Peace. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. Going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumpin' where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Welcome to Hey New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the whodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pels Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.